Yo, what's going on, everybody? I'm Beam. What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Beam. It's Beam, and today I got this client in the chair who's basically allowing me to do whatever I want with this haircut. I'm gonna show you guys how to basically get one of the cleanest, sharpest lines. My client here, as you guys can tell, we finna do a nice clean lineup. I'm gonna show you guys how to identify any of my holes that I have in the gap, but also how to create a nice clean taper, and then how to keep the beard as wide as possible, and how to use the 3-level enhancement technique to take this thing to the whole different stratosphere. Close them slightly but surely if I'm not cutting too much hair, and just bring everything down. I'm on the tips of the client hair, so I wanna make sure that I get everything down to that desired length. Let's move to the other side. We just prepping here and bringing everything forward, creating a nice circular ball line, using just the edges of my teeth. And as you guys can tell, it's a nice clean circular ball line. Completely open using my FX1s. I'm gonna give myself half of an inch, create this panel. We did a ball line, we got an open line, and now my number 1 completely open. I'm gonna take that all the way to the ridge area, but I also wanna hold and pin the braid down so I don't take too much hair away from the parted or braided area. Now completely close here, and just use the edges of my teeth and make everything consistent as possible. Slowly but surely, we are able to fade this area, create a nice transition, and not take too much hair from this area. Completely closed now, just using the edge of my teeth. I'm gonna go completely closed, edges of my teeth. And I'm just flicking in a circular motion, creating a transition in this area. Drop them halfway, same thing. I wanna go completely open, half of an inch. Then I'm gonna drop them halfway here and go half of that line. And now completely closed, half of this line. Now with my number 1 guard completely open, and I'm just using the hilt of my blade. I don't wanna lay my clipper flat here, because I don't wanna take too much from this beard area. But I wanna create a transition within itself to get a nice clean fade in this area. Completely closed, just the edges, my 1/16, which is basically my 0.5 guard, completely open. Just the edges of the hair. And as you guys can tell, I pretty much got everything how I want. I got everything prepped. I got the taper how I want it. Got it faded into the beard how I want it. So I want to go in and add some Colon spray. All right, today we'll be using the hair building fibers by Tomb45. I'm gonna be teaching you guys how to enhance a beard, but also how to make an extra $5 revenue behind your chair during any haircut service. So let me show you guys exactly what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go in. As you guys can see, the client has a real big beard. It's super wide. He doesn't want any of this beard taken off, or he doesn't want the width of the beard down. So what I'm gonna do is I can go in and fill in some of the lighter spots of the beard. So for the lineup, I'm gonna go in and hit these vertical areas. And as you guys can see, I'm creating a nice clean lineup. And now we have a nice clean lineup on the nape line. So now I'm here. And now I have 3 reference points. Reference A, reference B, reference C. Now let's play connect the dots to create a straight line. And let's repeat the same steps to the other side to get the straight line up now. No matter how lighter the hair is or how spacious it is, because I set those reference points of A, B, and C, even with my hand in the middle, you can see each side of the lineup, no matter how many light spots you have, to still create a straight lineup. Now I have a straight lineup. Start on my right side, so create an indentation mark right here. Slight indentation. Let's create an indentation mark towards the bottom. The next step is to go in with a waterproof base, which is our color No Drip here. This color is a non-chemical based product, but it's also waterproof, and this color stains the skin. So it can do everything that every other color can do, but with this, we're not worrying about having to patch test. I'm also gonna be using the enhancement color card, which is gonna help me stay in my boundaries and disperse and clean color throughout this lineup. So let's just apply this right now. And I basically wanna back it all the way up to his vertical bar area, and I wanna burst this color to create nice thin layers so the color doesn't apply itself too dark. I'm gonna use my precision pack pencil. I'm gonna go in and create nice thin lines. As you guys can see, thin lines, thin lines. Same thing here, thin lines. Creating these thin lines that just make it easier for me to remove them. Bringing everything together. I basically wanna blend some of this line out and conceal some of this line out. As you guys can tell, as I hit the line and pull away from it, I go to the top of the beard line with the Tomb45 razor. Go directly at the top. And voila, here we go. I'm gonna be doing the 2 with the grain. I'm gonna be doing the low bursted taper. I'm gonna be still keeping the C cups, keeping the beard as wide as possible on my client Jay here with the grain, clean passes, and just passing straight through the hair, getting it down to that one length. Because I'm gonna be tapering this hair, as I keep the lever completely open with my 1.5 up top, as I get to the side area, I can kind of close that up and trim this hair just a little bit lighter because it's gonna be a taper anyway. So now I wanna go in using my trimmers to create a nice clean roundabout. And I wanna keep it round so I can make the taper look bursted. Just wanna keep this area round. Because I cut him down with a 1.5 open with the grain, I can use a 1.5 open against the grain just to start to debulk this area and start to feather this area out to create a blend and a transition in the side panel. And give myself about 1/2 inch, following the same round circular guideline that I put in earlier for this bursted effect. So I can drop him halfway as well. Corner of my blade, slowly but surely feathering this darker area out. Now completely closed. Heel to the blade using the only 2 teeth on the corner of the clipper. As you guys can see behind the ear. I'm gonna debulk this area. So now completely closed. And I wanna work myself up into my open line instead of down fading here. Next step throughout my work is considered my frame my work. Most important work is my nape area, it's the back of the beard area, it's everything that brings these haircuts all the way together for me. I'm gonna fold the ear down, and I wanna follow the widest point of the nape. And as you guys can see, I'm creating them white ash lines. Creating the white ash line that you see on the outside of the lineup right here comes from drying the skin with alcohol from the beginning, assisting it with a spritz or a hairspray. The vertical bar area, using the clutch card to stay in boundaries, and now spraying the trigger to apply and layer color on this client's lineup. Stretch the skin, angle the razor at a 45-degree angle, and report to the top area of the beard. And once I let the tension go, as you guys can see, the round shape is created. A lot of people think that they have to go and sketch a round shape. No, I'm just pulling the tension super tight and keeping my razor blade straight. And once the tension is released, perfect curve on the beard. On a nice clean, like low to mid drop fade on him. I'ma still be showing the C cups. So right here I wanna go in with a 1.5, and I wanna get all this hair down to that one desired length because I know he just got a fresh set of braids. So I just wanna make sure a lot of this hair ain't poofing the braids up under it. This is completely open. That's knocked down, completely open. I can drop him halfway now, and I can go right under that. When it comes to these haircuts, you just really got to be focused on each step at a time. Don't really rush it, because everything ain't gonna be the same speed. Every part of the fade ain't gonna happen as quick as you want it to happen. I mean, this is a 1 guard. I cut him down with a 1.5, so I'm going with a 1. This 1 is completely open. I'm going up about 1/2 inch. And keep everything in this rainbow contour shape of his head, so the fade don't look weird or awkward in no position. I'm gonna go halfway. Start to work lower and lower in this fade till I get to that open area. I got my 0 guard on now, completely open. I'm gonna work this one downwards. You guys can see we're starting to soften up this fade. I'm starting to feather up the fade some. So when I'm feathering the fade, what I'm basically doing is debulking, but trying to preserve a lot of the bulk that's up top so I don't push the fade too high. It's about consistency. It's about repeating yourself. It's about doing some of the same steps to get that flush consistency fade that you're looking for. And now completely closed, trace it with a 1 open. Go up about 1/2 inch, stand on the edge of the teeth, using the hilt of my blade, debulking this area, but getting some consistency through and through. So let's start it off. And when you're doing a haircut like this, I want you to look at the weakest side, look at the strongest side, and find a middle ground. And my middle ground between this weak side and this strong side is my center point, which is in the middle. I go and attack this area immediately. And attacking this area allows me to see the right side of the lineup. Just trying to be as precise as I could be. This is a slight, small indentation, about a quarter length. Small indentation. Another indentation here, deeper on the sideburn area. Even though we cutting the sideburns off, he's not keeping them. But I'm using them for my lineup. A, B, and C is my middle. So now we play connect the dots to make drafting and creating a lineup very easy and seamless. And now because I did that part and used that reference point, I can knock this sideburn off, which I won't naturally use. Got to get a nice clean, like look at that, bro, that's crazy. That's a seed shape. Most people would have went in there and tried to drag it all the way around, then you go here and trying to, let me cut these out before I mess this lining up. Go here and you trying to draw that, you all off. That's why I'm here, here, and then bringing it together. And I'm putting him in a mindset of understanding and knowing what comes with a good haircut. So I'm gonna use my Color Enhancement Clutch card by Tomb45, assisting it with the Beam Team cordless compressor and no drip, slowly but surely bursting at the lighter hairs. You don't have to over apply when you're putting color on kids. Reason being, they don't care about it, they're not gonna tend to it. And you don't wanna put in all that invested work knowing that the kids won't take care of it. Super thin lines. Most important thing with these pencils, a lot of people hate them because it's so hard to move it. That's because you guys making the lines too thick and maximizing my potential. That's what I'm doing here. Taking my images to the next level. Same thing in the middle. Voila. Too-wee.
Damn it, Tito. Another one?
I got a client here that I'll be showing and demonstrating a low ball taper. I'm gonna be keeping the C cups, but I'm gonna be keeping everything wide and bring everything forward on this haircut. Looking at them from a front angle and looking at everything that's hanging over and just using the hilt of my blade, the middle ridged area of my blade. And I actually wanna use the back of my blade. I can rest the back of my blade on his head. I can tilt it in towards the hilt and float clean across anything that's sticking out or protruding outside of what I want it to be. Guideline towards the bottom. First guideline is established. My next step is to go in with my clippers, and I want to go in completely open, a 1/2 inch, using just the edge of my blade because my taper area is smaller. I don't want to create a super big gap in his hair by being reckless with how I'm fading. I think what people be forgetting with a lot of these like African Afro styles is you can be very different throughout these haircuts. Majority of them kind of look the same, but when you setting guidelines and once you're setting taper areas, you have to do those respectfully to the client's head shape. Everything is head shape. So I understand that everybody can't have the same haircut, but if you understand someone's head shape, you can give them the best haircut they can possibly take based on their hair shape. I want to accentuate this beard because I do something that's called a frame out process. So I want to go in using a product from Tomb45, the Tomb45 called the hair building fibers. As you guys can see, I'm using the mocha brown color, which is basically like a dark brown color for me. I want to go in and look at all of the light spots throughout the beard and just slowly but surely start to disperse a little bit of color throughout majority of the light spots. And the reason that I'm doing this is it's going to allow me to get a beard more of a dense look. And as you guys see me clear this panel out, I'm gonna fold the ear down with one finger. I'm gonna use the tip of my teeth to work myself all the way around this corner to stay consistent, solid through and through throughout this haircut. And as you guys can see, we got a solid nape line because my frame out work for me is a way for me to start to see my ending result before I even get there. And with frame out work, I'm just on the back of the beard, creating consistent, clean lines, taking my image to the next level. I'm starting to see sharpness, I'm starting to see readiness. It's putting me in a mode of knowing that I'm getting to where I'm trying to get to. put this first guideline in. And putting this first guideline in right here is just allowing me to see exactly where I want to start my taper. And I want to rake at the hair, but I want to flick outwards towards me because I don't want to create a super hard guideline, but I want to create a feathered effect, and the feathered effect will create this buttery blended effect at the end, which will make his taper really clean, really smooth. Now I'm gonna go completely open under that 1.5, half of an inch in a rounded shape. And going half of an inch in a rounded shape is where the bursted taper start to come alive. And I'm watching the gradient come together. All it's ever been about behind this chair is creating and developing that system. If you find a system and you find, something that works best for you, the clippers that you use, the guard system that you do use, when finding these systems, it allows you to stay as consistent as possible. And the reason that I say that is that's how you create foundation. You have to have a system. The center of the nose followed all the way up to the most darkest hair is what my third reference point to be. So I have a reference point A, I got a B, and now again, from the center of the nose all the way up to the darkest, furthest hair, which is here, is now my C. And with this one being my C, the hairs is a little bit lighter here, but now that I have a reference point on all 3 areas, we can create a straight line now. Now let's move to the left. Even with the calic here, and then spraying into the lighter areas, creating more of a realistic look, but also allowing this client to have more of a dense lineup. Same thing in the front here, burst it, and moving left to right to layer on top of itself. So now as you guys can see, we gave him this richer, fuller, dense look. Let's take that to another level. Because with the 3-level enhancement techniques, it's showing you guys how to take these lineups to another level. You guys seen it in a natural state where it was clean. Well, I'm taking that to another level. Just wait till I get to my execution phase. You guys are seeing all of those steps breathe life. Because we follow the code, we follow the system. We put them in a place where it's impossible to fail. So I'm gonna create the thinnest lines possible, and creating these thin lines is gonna allow me to remove them. And as I pull it away, you can see the pencil spreading across the skin, creating a contrast from the lineup itself to the actual skin of the client's head. And I wanna start off with the beard here, because just wanna see how high I wanna take it. And I wanna naturally start high. So me starting high allows me to create these shapes. And you see the white line, this comes from clean skin. This comes from the holding spray. I want you guys to understand that the secrets is being revealed. The cat is out the bag. There's so many people that hold these industry secrets from a lot of you upcomers, and it's making it harder for you guys to not only elevate, but you get what I mean, up the game, period. A lot of people don't like giving out their secrets because they feel like if the secrets is out, they got people they gotta compete with. Me being a retired barber, I don't have nobody to compete with, so the cat is out the bag with me.
Another one.